Where do we draw the line between having a crush and being obsessed with someone? How do you know that you're in your romance era and not your Joe Goldberg era? My name is Theo. This is Luna. I'm a trainee hypnotherapist. She is a dog. And today we're going to be talking a little bit more about limerence, aren't we, honey? Yeah. I know what it's like to have a situationship completely take over your life, where I felt like if I'm worthy of their love, then I'm worthy of being loved. But as we know, that's just not true. You might find yourself going over and over in this cycle where you find yourself obsessing over people who you view are above you. I know it's addictive, I know it's hard, but we can get through this, and me and Luna are going to be here to help you, so don't worry. We'll get through it, won't we? Yeah. But before we can get over limerence, we first have to understand what it is a little bit better. Limerence is an obsession over another person that goes further than having a crush or lusting over someone. It feeds off of uncertainty. So if your situationship is hot and cold towards you, then that's going to feed into this uncertainty. Limerence craves reciprocal feelings more than it craves the person itself. Limerence can be agonizing for both parties involved. It's feeding off of all of your big feelings, which must be agonizing for you, especially if you're going through it right now, but it can also be hard for the person that you're feeling limerence over. They ask for someone to be obsessed with them, but it's not all on you. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Bye. It's okay, I've replaced you with a pumpkin. Just feel empty without you. Okay. Bye. I'm feeling limerence over you, Luna. I am. I love you. Why did you leave me? Let's talk about what limerence looks and feels like, both physically and emotionally. Firstly, the most obvious one is obsessive thoughts. You might not be able to sleep because all you can do is think about them. They might take over your thoughts on every waking minute of the day. You might become emotionally dependent on them or receiving messages from them, especially if someone's inconsistent with their affection. That's going to make you want them more. There was an experiment done with dogs, which, thinking of, sounds quite cool, but they had different sets of dogs with different sets of owners. One set of owners was really kind to them, one set of owners was really mean to them, and one set of owners was sometimes nice, sometimes mean to them. And it was the owners who had that inconsistency that the dogs were most, well, not fond of, but most attached to. It caused like an anxious attachment, so they were more excited when they went to go and see their owners, and you could tell from the dogs that they were more attached to their owners. And even though I'm not calling you a dog, psychologically that's what happens with us as well. You might have intense hope that's followed by crushing disappointment. I remember one time I was feeling limerence towards someone. I helped them move into their new house on my birthday, and when I asked them to come hang out with me and my friends for my birthday celebration, they just forgot and went to work instead and didn't hang out with me, and that was crushing. Oh my god, I was so happy that day, but I cried so much that night. My god. This uncertainty activates your nervous system to be on fight and flight mode, so it's constantly searching for that validation, which is why it feels so emotionally intense and big and obsessive. We need to calm that nervous system down if we're going to get over it. And remember how earlier I said it's that hot and cold and it's not just your fault? We're on to that now. Yay, look at that. I promised you we were going to talk about it. Even though, yes, a lot of it is the way that your brain works and the way you grew up and your attachment style and how your parents interacted with you and all of those sorts of psychological things we always talk about. Some of it is the fault of your limerent object, and the limerent object is the person that you're obsessing over. We just call it limerent object in psychology world, but limerent object, just remember that. If your limerent object, I'm just going to call them situationship because calling someone an object feels weird to me. I don't like it. If your situationship gave you clear indications of their feelings towards you, you wouldn't be feeling limerence. Simple as. When their words and their actions aren't aligned, that's when you're going to start feeling things and when things are going to start becoming obsessive. Another one that's really common is when someone acts like the love of your life in person. They're cuddling you, kissing you, making you dinner, making you feel special and important and loved, but then they never text you back. It's like you don't exist as soon as you're not directly in front of their face. Your situationship, if they're conscious of what they're doing, is going to hold on to this limerent state by giving you this hot and cold, this uncertainty. So don't worry, you're not going to feel this way about everyone. It's not just you, you're not broken. Your brain is reacting to the situation it's in, and the situation that you're in is a person being a little bit shitty. The reason why this is so addictive is because it's an inconsistent dopamine release. There was a study done in 1950s by, what are their names? James Olds and Peter Milner, and terrible names. They did a rat button experiment is the best way I know how to describe it, where they gave different rats buttons. In this experiment, there were some rats in cages with buttons. In one cage, if they pressed the button, there would be a treat or something that would release dopamine in their brain, and in another one, there would be an inconsistent one. So if you press the button, sometimes nothing, sometimes dopamine. The rats in the consistent cage would press the button, get the dopamine treat, and then go about their day. The rats with the inconsistent button would press, so many presses, and ignore all the other things like food, water, play, because they just wanted to press the button 1,000 times until they collapsed with exhaustion. And that's essentially what's happening to your brain. Your situationship or limerent object is treating you like a rat in a cage and is giving you an inconsistent button. So of course you are going to be press until you collapse with exhaustion because you want that dopamine release. Dopamine roller coasters are so addictive. It's the same sort of thing that happens when you're taking drugs. It's that dopamine release. It's what we crave, it's what we need. And when it's inconsistent, it becomes even more addictive. This can be particularly powerful if you're not particularly happy in life right now as well. If everything around you is feeling a little bit crap and a bit dull, and this person's coming in giving you this dopamine boost, of course you're going to want them more. Of course everything's going to feel more powerful. Someone's giving you that happiness that you've been craving, that you want and that you deserve, but they're being inconsistent about it. You deserve love in a healthy capacity, and you're worthy of it. I think some people find it really hard because I know personally, I'm like, yes, I'm worthy of love because I am a person, and any person is worthy of love. But what your brain thinks and what your heart thinks can sometimes be different, and it takes a little bit of work to connect the two so that they both on the same page. If you've had an inconsistent childhood or dealt with neglect, then limerence can also be super powerful then. If being anxiously attached to someone is your normal, or if having an uncertain household feels somewhat comfortable to you, then you're more likely to experience limerence. Someone's being inconsistent and crappy towards you, and you might have wounds from your childhood that aren't your fault. This might not even be your first situationship where people have been crappy towards you, and now you have to deal with all the repercussions. It's shit, it's not fair, but we're gonna get through it. You are not broken, you are not alone. You're experiencing something very intense and quite scary right now, but you are gonna get through it. With time, these feelings will pass. Something I did that helped me get through limerence was hypnotherapy. What? They brought it back to hypnotherapy again. Of course I have, that's like my whole thing. Limerence is one of those things that actually brought me to hypnotherapy. When feeling really intense, I needed something to calm my nervous system down. So hypnotherapy can really help with that. It's frustrating because you can't force the limerence to stop. You can't just go, well, they don't want me, so why am I even going to try? And you can't force someone to love you either. I've put a workbook down in my description that's going to help you get through, because I really want you to be okay. And hey, we're going to get through this. I've told you this before, you just need some time. Hypnotherapy can be really helpful. It can make you feel okay, even if it is just for a few minutes, just to calm the nervous system down. At this point, we can go minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, until we get to a point where this intense feeling is less all-consuming. I have a hypnotherapy session coming out on Friday that is focused on calming yourself and feeling okay whilst experiencing limerence and getting you through this. So if this is something you're experiencing, subscribe, come back on Friday, and there will be a video for you, and it's just gonna give you a much needed mental, body, mind rest, reset before we go back into our days and have to face the world again. Remember, if you are feeling this, you're not crazy, you're not insane, you're not Joe Goldberg, and you are going to get through this. This is a normal thing that happens to your brain, and you're going to be okay. Give yourself space and time to recover and to feel okay, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.